Recording. Hello guys, so let's continue with our project. Today we're gonna work on the view, right? uh, Displaying the issue. Okay, so let's see in the document I added something there, like just a text, right? So viewing issue. uh, so we're gonna go to this route and try to fetch the data, right? So that is the first thing to do. Yeah, so this one, okay, I did not look at okay, let's do it later, right? I'll remove that. I mean, it should work, I don't know. Let me check, right? Here, if you add a class name, and then this is the function, right? This is a function. Let's see. This is a function, yeah. So, and there is a size. There is two things. You can use size and the variant, right? So, if you want to insert the function, then you just put curly bracket and button variant, right? And then the function with passing object, right? And then the variant. Yeah, I think that's working. Make it maybe uh what the button was, create issue, right? So okay, let's keep it primary, or maybe uh what was that, a default destructive outline, right? Secondary. I'm gonna add secondary. Let's try that. And then next will be maybe, yeah, let's leave it like that, right? You can remove this button now. So class curly bracket and then the function, and that's how you pass the object, right? Anyway, that's good. Let's remove that. Let's run the project, right? pnpm run dev. Oh, all right. Go live view. Just calling the same button, okay? Two different way, right? If you go to the issues, you're gonna see that create issue button right here. All right. So now I think what we're gonna do, we can leave this. We're not gonna maybe let's check that page, right? Create issue. That is the issue page, and in here, right? We are displaying that button. So let's see. Let's not put this flex box. Add some margin on the top, right? And then after that, we're gonna display the list of item here, list of issue, right? Okay. Now we have to fetch the uh, issue. How we can do that? Import our Prisma friend. That will be Prisma, right? Prisma from leave. What is that? Leave Prisma. Yeah. So the next thing, how we can fetch the data, right? Basically, you have to make this function asynchronous, async function, async, right? And then inside here, const, we can call it issues equal to await Prisma dot issue, right? Issue dot find is that find many. Okay, so get all the issue, right? Okay, that's it. And then if there is no issue, then what we're gonna do? If there is no issues, then you have to make sure return something, right? So return not found. That's the built-in uh, function in the next navigation. So here you can get not found. So if there is no issue, it will just return not found, right? Yes. Okay. Then uh, after that, we're gonna go to the create issue. Basically, we have the issue now, right? You see, these are the issue. the array of object, right? Inside the array you can get this object. Okay, so we have to display now. How are we going to display this issue, guys? Maybe some kind of table we can use that. So let's look at the SATCM and find the table now. So the table. Oh, I'm looking at the next. Yes, look at the SATCM table. Where is the table? This one, right? So something like this. Okay, maybe we're gonna have like a uh let's see what we're gonna discuss. We have the title, right? This will be title, and maybe status, right? And then we have status, and then maybe the description. Okay, description, right? Yeah, so let's do that one. Is title, status, and description. These are the three things we're gonna add, right? So we have to install this first. So let's copy this and go to the new terminal and install that. Okay, I just need a table. Even, I mean, we can just display in the normal list of item, right? We can do that also. But let's try in the table. Let's see how it looks. We added that. We just have to copy this, right? We have to import the table component on the top. And then after that, you call this component, like copy this and try to modify that later. So inside here, we can say, we can maybe render in the, let's add a div, right? Maybe let's try that. So in this table caption, I think we don't need this caption. See, what is caption now, right? If you look at the table here, this is the caption. Okay, table caption we don't need, right? So we're gonna delete that. Also, you get rid of from here, right? Don't need that. Next will be the, okay, let's remove this class name. You don't have to pass the width right now. Let's make it normal. Table row, right? Table header. You know, in the table, if you have, I mean, we did not look at the HTML table, right? Table, and table gonna have the head, but row and the head, right? And then table body, and again in the row you add all the cell. Okay, so if you have learned the HTML table, I think you understand it already. So here will be title of our issue, then here will be status, let's put it, and then here we're gonna add description, right? Description. Yeah, I think that is all right. Description. Maybe we don't have to add a description in here. We just display like title, status, and maybe uh let's put a date, right? Issue date. Okay, and then in the details page we can display the description. Description may be big, right? So it's not good idea to add in the table. We just open that issue by clicking the title, and then go there and then check the descriptions and all that. So issue date is okay, maybe when it was created, right? We don't need this amount header, right? So after that header is done, you can have the body, right? Inside the row, each row, this will be added in each row, right? We just need uh, 3 cell. So the first for title, second for the status. So we're gonna remove that. This will be dynamic now, right? I mean dynamic data, and we don't need this one. That's it. So that is all we need, right? I mean, if you look at right now, I just put 1, 2, and 3, right? I delete here. If you do that, it will be let's go back to our case. So let me refresh list of issue, and we don't see what happened. Yeah, something went wrong. Home page, issues. Is there something wrong, right? It's working. Okay, let me click on here, go to issues, and just not changing. Oh, it's slow. I don't know why my system is so slow, right? Refresh and click on this issue, and oh, there is no wrong mistake. It just not change, right? The route did not change. Okay, I'm not sure why. Just froze, my system. Yeah. Okay, it's just not working. I'm not sure why. Localhost 3000, and then I will go to the issues page, right? Okay, so look like something is not working. So let's see. We have. Let me get rid of this right for now. Just not working. Okay, I'm not sure why. Let me add the dashboard also, right? So we can check the ASSBOARD dashboard, and then in the there we can put a page, right? Page.tsx dashboard. So if I click to the dashboard, it should go to the dashboard. If I click to the issue, right? If I click there, it's just not working. So what is the problem now? Okay, let me just quickly pause. Okay, guys. So you see now we have the table, right? We have to repeat this now. Okay, this row we have to repeat. So I'm gonna inside the body, I'm gonna get this. I'm just cut this, right? Put a curly bracket, and then issues. So where is that issue, right? Here, can't comment that. Okay, so you call that issues dot map, and you get each issue, right? Each issue, and then you're gonna call your table, right? So table have a row, must have the key now, right? Key equal to uh issue. I mean, issue has the ID, right? So let's use that one, issue dot ID for now. Good. So here you can display the title, that is issue dot title. Then you're gonna have the, what is that? Next will be issue dot status, right? Then we're gonna add the date. So issue dot created at, right? If you do that, it will give an error. So dot, I think get full date, right? Maybe. Yeah, so I think that should work. Let's try that. So you can see now, right? The status is open. Issue date is there, like 23 is just a date, right? Get date dot to local string, right? Let's try. So this is just a date. Maybe we can add like get full get get date, right? Or create it at dot to local string. I think let's check that. Okay. Yeah. So it, I think it's better, right? Okay. So we got that done, right? Now, like when we click this, right, this link, this title, maybe we can add a link to click here and then go to the details page. So how we can create that one, right? So this is our title here. You just have to use the link. We have the link, right? You can just copy this, add a link, and we can display the text or content here, right? But the href, you know, how we normally create the dynamic route, right? Slash, we are inside the issues page, correct? Issues, and from there, we're gonna call the dynamic like ID, right? So for every issue, there is an ID. Let's add that ID here, you know. So issue dot ID, right? That's it. So localhost 3000 slash issues slash ID. So how we create the page with ID? Issues slash dynamic ID. So dynamic route is square bracket dot 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 and give maybe slug or ID, whatever you want to give, right? And inside you're gonna call the page, right? Page dot tsx, and then you can change the name, call it issue details, right? Details page, like that. Okay, good. And here you can access, right, the params, and that params will be the type of params is basically what? ID, right? ID. No. So the params basically we can call it like params is something which has ID, and ID is a string, right? So it will not work. Let me see. So params is, you can destructure params here, right? So it's ID. Okay, we have to write like this, params ID, which is string. Yeah, that's it. So params is declared, but its value never used. We can just console log, right? Console.log that uh, params. Params. That is all. We can make this async function, later, right? Fine. Okay, let's make it async. Good. So now you have, even you can display the ID here, right? Let's do that. Params uh, params.id. So you'll see now, when you click this item, right? Uh, it will open the new. I mean, there is a route. On the click there is a route, right? The click, and you're gonna see the route. Okay, the new route. Look at here. This is the issue slash ID, and this is the ID, right? You can use this ID to get the details of that ID page, right? I mean, you can fetch that ID items and then like display. So okay, so let's commit up to this point, right? We can come delete the console log. Let's commit that. Okay, what? I don't know. My computer just freezing, right? Delete. Then I can go back, open the new terminal. Oop. Yeah. So git add, right? Git commit, uh, commit dash m, and we can call it what? A git commit dash m. We can call it fetch issue and issue, right? Or yeah, let's call it fetch issue, issues, and git push. So we have done something, right? We have done to basically fetch all the issues, and you can, also create the dynamic route to go there, right? But can we, I think, can we add something, like can we improve, right? Can we improve this? So let's do some improvement. Like for example, uh go back to EC page. So here, right, this status based on the, maybe based on the status, like open, closed, or something, right? We can change, like enpm dlx Prisma Studio to open the our database in the browser, right? So we can change the, we can change. So let's add one more thing, let's add, right? I can change this one too, like in progress. Let's change this to closed and keep it one open, right? Or maybe let's add it close also. We can add one more, which will be open automatically, right? Yeah, say, oh, did not change. Why? Refresh, let's try that. Yeah, it's changed. Good. So now go back here. Let's add one more item, right? Create issue. The title will be, this is open issue, right? And then here, please uh, look at this issue and get me the solution. Thank you, right? Like that. Okay. And then create. And this will be, one issue will be open. Okay. So we have this open issue, we have in progress, close, and all those, right? Did I add twice? This is open issue. I don't know. Yeah, look like it's just added twice, right? Look at, see, this is the problem. So we have to fix, like when you submit the form, right? When we submit the form should not, like form should not, once you click one time, that's it. It should be locked. So we have to add that. We have to improve our form, right? We're gonna do that next time. But for now, that's okay. So the thing is, I want to work on this in progress, close, and basically we can add some kind of a badge. Let's see if there is a badge, right? Badge. Let's make it better. Looks better. Badge. So this badge, right? So there is a badge. We can add that, and based on the color, maybe it will change, right? We can change the badge color to green or blue or orange. If it's closed, maybe red. If open, maybe blue. We can do that. Okay. Badge has different style, right? Yeah. So okay. So there is already destructive. So maybe there may be already some variant, right? Variant for outline. Okay, there is outline. Uh, that is the normal one, and secondary, right? Outline, secondary, and destructive. Okay, we can use that one. Okay, that's good. So we have to install this badge. I'm going to cancel now. So maybe that badge will be also useful in our details page, right? Somewhere else. So why not we just create separate component? I mean, we have the badge component, right? But we have to dynamically display that. Like if the status is open or closed or in progress, what we can do? So see this data, I'm going to send to the badge, right? And badge will, based on that data, based on status, it will add the variant, right? So I mean, we can do that. Let's try. So here I'm going to call it issue batch dot tsx, or issue status batch, right? Status batch dot tsx. Good. So we're gonna, yeah. So the, I mean, what happened, right? Here you're gonna get the params like that, right? params, maybe we can call it params, or let's call it status. Okay, status you will get. So that status will be what? Remember, we have status in our schema, right? So let's import that, because when uh when you add schema to the Prisma, right, they also generate the types for that. So look at here, we have in open, in progress, close types. Look at that. So this status will be that basically status, right, will be type of status. That's it. Okay, so now we can import. Did we install already, right? Import the badge. Import badge, right, from UI badge. Okay, import that one. I mean, for now, right, let's do one thing. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add here the badge component, right, just to look at. Okay, and I mean what we can do, right? Okay, let's delete this. If the status, right, is equal to open, then I'm gonna display return badge, right, like that. But you have to add the text also, right? So let's call it open, and then oh, I need to close here. Open. So that's the open. This one will be gone, and this badge is gonna have variant, right? And let's add it uh, secondary, or maybe deep. Let's keep it default for that. Good. Now we can use this issue status badge, but we have to supply this status, right? We're gonna do that. This is a component. We can send the data this inside this props. The name is status. You must put status when you're sending data. Go back to your page now, right? Here, import that component. Okay, import issue status badge, right? Import that from the component general issue badge. Okay, and then, oh, I'm in the wrong place. I cannot import inside the component, right? I should be outside here. Okay, so if I copied the wrong thing. Like that. Now I can just render that issue status badge component where inside status here. See that? So issue status badge, right? Render that, and that's it. But you have to send the data, right? So data will be status. See that they're expecting the data, so that is dynamic data. You must put like this, not like that, right? So will be issue dot status. I hope let's see what there is something wrong, right? We are in the issue page. We get that issues. Where is our map here? No, guys, I'm in the wrong place. Why I'm doing this? Issue. Here I don't have data. It's just the status, right? That should be there. I need to go inside my map, and then look for the status card. Copy that, and then issue status badge, right? I think the badge spelling is not good. Okay, it should not be like that, right? Rename it badge, right? Badge. Save, and then you have to change here also. Badge, and then I'll just refresh one time. Okay, reload the page. Now I can go back and import now, right? The BADGE badge. Okay, why issue and import issue status badge, and then we can use now. So that is the heading part. Go back here and then use it. So that is component, right? I can add directly here. Yeah, that's fine. Issue status badge, and this is gonna need the data, right? The attribute or props, you can call it. So if I hover here, it says, okay, status is missing in type, right? So you have to call status, and that will be the dynamic data from issue dot status. Good. Now just look at the open one, right? See what happened. I mean, you don't see the status here because we say if the open, right, you can display that secondary whatever or default one, but closed can have something like a destructive maybe. So we can change now right here. You can write if else, else if, let's call it status equal to in progress, right? Then you're gonna display something else. Copy and pass here, right? So that should be maybe secondary, right? And then if it's closed, else we can just return, maybe else just return it, right? Return the badge. The last one will be closed, right? So just return that. Destructive. What was that? DESTRICTIV, right? I hope that is okay. This DES, this one, okay, must be correct as spelling. Yeah. So now it will be in progress, and it will be closed, like that. Let's check now, and you can see now, right? In progress has different color, closed and open has different color, right? So fine. If you go to any one of them, right, you will see the details. I mean, this is one way to display, right? Like, but there is, like you can even define the types for this. That will be more complex. Like, basically you define like a const, let's call it badge status, maybe prop, something like that, equal to the variant, right? I think see there is the way to define the type, that is uh, like called in the type, right? Record, I believe. So not equal to, right? Should be colon, and then you define the record, right? Record, okay, like that, and equal to something, maybe the object, something like that. So what types of status is this, right? Here maybe you say, let's call it string, and then this will be the type like string, right? And here you're gonna have maybe something, the label or something. So call it label. So that's how you define, right? You cannot find that, fine. So I mean, this will be a little difficult to understand, but in our case, right, see, we have the type. What type is status, right? Status, and that status has two things, like open, the name, there is open, right? We can define like a this open, uh, and then maybe the color, right? We can define that. So we can add an object, and that will be label, and the second will be color, right? Color. Okay, we can define that. Now we have to write all the things here. So the status is like a open, closed, and in progress. So that will be, let's call it open, right? Like that. We get open, right? Colon. And in the object, you define the label. So the label can be, I mean, the color, right? The color will be like some kind of data. Okay, so let's add that. The name should be color. So we can say the label, let's call it color, right? That is color. And the color may be the uh, green for open, right? Like that. So, okay, so open, that is not correct. Should we bracket here? So here, how we can define the color, right? So the color maybe have different value, like green, or let's call it orange. The green in progress will be what? In progress maybe purple, and then or closed will be maybe red, right? Red. See, so that's how we define the type, right? Uh, should have two things, label and the color, right? We can leave it like that. I hope that is correct. But what is the label type, right? That will be string. Yeah, I think that is one. So now you have the label that is color, and then the value will be green, right? No, we have to define one more. So let's give it a label. We have to define the label. That is the type, and give the name, right? Maybe open like that, comma, color will be green. Yeah. So we have to define now all this for three item, right? Open, close, like that. In progress. First, you define the types and use that dynamically here, right? Based on status. If you have status equal to open, then maybe you will be using like a purple, and then for the red one, closed one will be red, right? So in progress, you're gonna get now here, you're gonna get that in progress, and you will get closed also, right? Closed. But okay, that's it. And once you have that, right, you can use this in place of this whole structure. So basically we can return the batch, right? Let's keep it one. uh, yeah, let's keep it one return, and then we have to now, maybe we have to pass, see the batch. This batch need a variant, right? And variant will be this color. So no, we cannot define that variant, right? Okay, let's make it in the class name. Okay, and here we're gonna pass the uh color, right? Like that. Can we do that? The default value maybe. That will be a little difficult to figure out, right? Okay, for now I'll just leave it the old one, okay? But this is the way you can define the variation, and then you can use here. Unless we can create our own badge. Let's say for now what I'll do, right? I'm just gonna add p tag, because I need to find out how to add the default value to that badge, right? So let's say I just put a p tag here, right? So now you want to display the data here. That will be what? The label, right? So we can call it, let's call it, how are we going to get the label, this label. So the badge status, right? Uh, then you pass that status, the one you receive from here, okay? And then inside you get a color, right? That's it. So that will be the title, like open label, right? That will be label. I mean, let's see, not color, but let's see. That will be label. Sorry, guys, label, label, L-A-B-E-L, label, right? That's it. And then you want to change the color, then you just add here class name, text, color, right? And then we're gonna put in the bracket the default value. So we must insert. We must have to add like a, no, not like that. Backtick, and then dynamic data, right? Okay, let's see if we can add the variable here, right? So text color, cannot do that. What is that? A square curly bracket, right? And then use a backtick, and then text color dash, right? And square bracket, you can put that value. Color will be right. So let's try to add that, right? The badge status, it will not gonna work. I know that. How are we gonna add that? I'm not sure. No. Okay, this not going to work, right? Unless you just put the style attribute maybe, and then color will be something like a badge status square bracket status, right? And then you get the color. But yeah, it's not dynamic. It's not gonna work. So I have to fix this, right? And I'm gonna fix this, and I will push the code. Okay, you guys can check it. But we can define the status like this, and then use that, right, in one line. Okay, we can do that. But you have seen the previous one. You can keep it like that, or I will put the fixed code here and then just try that one. Okay, guys. Yeah, because you know I'm sure if there is a way to define the color, right, like dynamic color, you know the code, right? So if there is a way to define the color, so let me check the component one time. Different component has different way to do things. UI and then label, a label, right? So class name, yeah, so we can, I think we can supply that, we can supply the class name. That is the only, yeah, we can do that, right? It's just exporting the label, and there is a class name, right? That is all. So we will try to supply the class name. Just have to make a correct way to do that, right? Okay. All right. So let me stop here. The next thing, like we have to build our details page, and then in the details page, we're gonna add like update and delete button, right? And complete our update and delete operation. Next thing, like when you displaying this list, right? When displaying the list, we have to, let's say we want to add maybe, what you call that, we want to add the loading state, right? So that also we're gonna add. So we're gonna add loading state first, and then we're gonna work on our details page, right? There we're gonna have the update and delete button and the details of our issue page also, right? All those things. And then finally, when you click update, it gonna update. When you click delete, it gonna delete, right? Those are the two things in our basic development, basic part, right? I mean, when we're working, right, there is different way to do things. When the like keep improving, right? I mean, slowly you have to do it. So let me delete this error for now and just add maybe color to be red. So this will not work, right? It is not gonna work here. Let's delete it. Okay, and if you go back here, right, to home issue page, right now you see all open, right? All is coming from here. This label is this working already. Okay, we just have to fix that badge and display the different color. So I'm gonna update the code and then I will push. You guys can check, right? All right, thank you very much. Let me stop here.